Alright, welcome back everybody. It is I, Specs the Speckingtons, and this is not my fourth attempt at re-recording this. I promise. No, it totally is. Anyways, welcome to the UPDL Season 6 Power Rankings. If you're new, if you don't know what the heck I just said, I'll explain it real quick. Basically, we are a Pokemon Draft League. And if you don't know what a Pokemon Draft League is, basically, you draft an assortment of Pokemon to your liking based on the rules of said draft league. It can vary from draft league to draft league. And then after you draft your things, you fight other people with your Pokemon and you win. The goal is to just win. And if you win hard enough and then you get into playoffs and then you win hard enough there, you win the whole league. And then maybe this cash prize is not cash prize here, unfortunately. Maybe I'll do it one day. And there you go. Yeah, so basically just for fun. Yeah, that's basically it. As for power rankings, you know what those are. Basically, I look at every single team that has been drafted in said draft league, and I compare them to each other based on numerous categories, which you can see up above here. You know, you can see the 9 categories we have. I'll explain this one. This is a new one. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, but yes. Rank you based on these categories, and then whoever has the highest average is the winner of the power rankings. They deserve to just win the draft league entirely, and they don't even need to fight anyone anymore. Who cares? Because they just have the best team, so it doesn't even matter. Of course, that's not actually how it works. Again, like this is all my opinion, and I actually think, like genuinely speaking, this time. The other times I was lying. I'm gonna be honest. The other times I was lying. I didn't like every single team. But I think this time... Actually, I'd be lying if I said I liked every single team here, too. But I think most teams here can win the league. Of course, player skill matters more. So, even if you have what I consider a garbage team, you can still win this league. However, it just puts you at a slight disadvantage having a quote-unquote worst team based on quote-unquote my opinion. I think I used quote-unquote wrong. My opinion, quote-unquote. I don't. You get what I mean. So, now that that's out of the way, let me explain the categories real quick, and then we can get into the rankings. So, first up, type variants. We love type variants. All right, it's a pretty cool thing. So, type variants. Sorry, my mind just blanked there. Anyways, so cores. Holy shit. Okay, sorry. Let me regroup. Type variants includes cores. If you don't know what a core is, basically it is having like grass, water, fire core, or like steel, fairy, dragon. So like a group of 2 to 3 Pokemon that synergize very well type-wise with each other. And so it includes that in type variants, but also I don't want to just look at cores, which is why I don't have just the separate cores as their own category. I also want to look into why, like, if your team overall as a whole can take on every single type in the game. So like, can your team deal with Ice Beam? Can it deal with Ground Earthquake? Can it deal with even the more niche stuff like Freeze Dry? Can your team block Volt Switch? Can your team absorb Toxic? Well, that's not as important, but like, you know, stuff like that is all kind of what goes into the type variance category. It should be pretty easy 10 if you build a well-rounded team. Hazards. So do you have setters and removers? Generally speaking, I really like to see multiple rockers, at least a spiker, and at least one of T-spikes or webs. You don't have to have all of them. More, obviously, does help. And then in terms of removing, I don't want to see one defogger. I want to see at least 2. Or at least 2 ways of removing hazards. So like, you have to have 1 defogger, 1 spinner, 2 spinners, 2 defoggers. Well, at least some kind of variation there. Because like, you're not going to want to bring the same defogger every season, most likely. Every game in the season, most likely. Because usually your defogger is not going to have a great matchup against every single team. So like, if you have a variety, that makes things easier for you to relieve hazards from your side, and thus makes your team better. Magic Bounce is also appreciated as a form of hazard blocking, at least. And Good as Gold also is a thing now that blocks defog, so yeah. Spoiler alert though, the person who drafted Goldango did not abuse that entirely, and they in fact did not draft a lot of hazards. But we'll get to that in a second. Pivoting. Sorry, my nose is a little stuffy if you can't hear. I'm probably gonna be sniffling a lot, but I'm not sick. I don't know what happened. Anyways, pivoting. Do you have pivot moves? Do you have U-turn, volt switch, flip turn, teleport, baton pass, even all those things. Again, baton pass is only allowed as a dry move. You can't pass stats or subs in this league. But do you have those moves, and do your Pokemon want to use those moves? That's kind of important. Because even if they have U-turn, if they don't want to use U-turn, like for example, Volcarona, sure it does have U-turn, but if you're not using it as a Quiver Dancer, I don't know what's wrong with you. So, yeah. I mean, of course, this is Draft League. You could potentially run a defensive Volcarona one day, but obviously, pivoting is not the main thing Volcarona is known for. Just saying. Yeah. Next category, speed tiers. Not only do I want to see fast mons, I also want to see a lot of diversity in those speed stats across your Pokemon. So, for an example, there's a reason why speed tiers are important, and having a diverse range is important. The example is, let's say you have a Mega Charizard Y. You got nice base 100 mon. He's all cool. He's all fancy. But oh no, there's an Iron Boulder. And now Iron Bolt, if this Mega Charizard Y was the fastest mon on your team, oh my god, Iron Boulder sweeps you. But not only that, it can do so with Adamant. And so now that it can run Adamant because your fastest mon is Charizard Y, it's okay, since I can run Adamant, now I can 2-hit KO I don't know, Claydol or something with the range. This is a made up example. I'm pretty sure Iron Boulder can 2-hit KO Claydol with Mega Horde in some way, shape, or form. So, already, without Adamant. But, let's just assume it didn't, right? It was a 3-hit KO with Jolly, but now it's going to be a 2-hit KO with Adamant. Now it's really important that I have Adamant, and, I can do it for free because this Charizard Y is not fast enough. However, now you reveal that your fastest mon is now Cinderace. And now Cinderace, while not faster than Iron Boulder, will force the Iron Boulder to go to Jolly if he wants to outspeed the Cinderace. And because of that, now Claydol is not a 3-hit KO with, but it's a kind of convoluted example, but you kind of get my point, right? Having a diverse range and a good spacing in between will force your opponent, into running specific natures. You can predict what kind of natures they can run based on what your team is and what they have to outspeed. And because of that, you can actually make deductions about your opponent's team before they even bring it against you. And that's why I think having a diverse range is important. Anyways, side rant over. Just have a diverse range of speed tiers, You also need to have fast mons, you also need to have slow mons, Yeah. Okay, anyways. Bulk. Is your team bulky? That's it. That's really Regenerator helps. Wish helps. Having just fat stats helps. Heal Bell, all that type of stuff kind of goes into bulk. Setup. Yeah, okay. These categories are pretty self-explanatory. Setup sweepers. Do you have those? Dragon Dance, Quiver Dance, Swords Dance, blah blah blah. Calm Mind, Nasty Plot, Iron Defense, because Body Press exists now. Right? So any of those works. Wall breakers. Do you have Pokemon that can just get on the field right away and just start wailing away at the team? For example, Choice Man Crawdon. It's really hard to switch into that. Banded Dracovish. How are you supposed to switch into that? Vicious Ren. Blah blah blah. That type of stuff kind of falls into wall breakers. Cleaners. Oh yeah, Specs Dragon Ball too. All that type of stuff. Anyways, cleaners. Last category that is not fake. This one's kind of fake. But yeah, cleaners. Do you have Pokemon that can get on the field late game and with little to no setup can clean said team? Which is why it's called cleaners. Because they're just coming in at the end to mop up the mess. That is the weakened team. Yeah, so fast stuff. Dragon Ball, for example, functions both as a wall breaker and a cleaner with its spec set. Or bandit set, both work. But yeah, that's kind of the example of a Pokemon that can fit into both. But that's an example of a cleaner, more specifically. I used to not include stuff that boosted speed because that would just kind of go into setup. But now I'm starting to half include them into this category. So for example, Shell Smash Cloyster. That's why I said little to no setup. So Shadow Smash Cloister, 1 turn setup, it's ready to go. It's faster than pretty much everything, and then it can go ahead and start Icicle Spearing everything down. So that's kind of what I'm including in terms of cleaners now. Also, good Scarfers. Yeah, those count for cleaners. Last one, what I use. So this is entirely a vibe check by me. Like, if I like your team, you get a high score. If I don't like your team, you don't get a high score. That's basically it. And I decided to include it because, frankly, this team, I don't want these PRs to be seen as entirely objective now these days. Because, like, I probably have made several mistakes in previous PRs. And, like, yeah. So this is just my, again, at the end of the day, this is my opinion. So now I'm making my opinion matter more. Is basically what I'm saying. And in fact, this is the category that's used to break ties as well. So, yeah. To be fair, I still had to break a lot of ties after that. Because a lot of people got, like, 7s or 8s. Some people got 10s. One person got a 5. And we're going to get to them soon, in fact. Spoiler alert. So, yeah. With that all out of the way, let's go ahead and look at the teams. So, who do you think is the worst team on this list? Sorry, I had to go into ASMR mode for a little bit. You know how it is. Gotta make the money. Anyways, should I be upfront and direct about it? Yes, I will be. In fact, this is the worst team. I'm sorry. There always has to be a last place. I don't like crowning anyone as last, but it has to happen every season. Route 47 Lucarios is, in my opinion, the worst team that was drafted this season. That being said, it's not that bad. Because as I said, I think most people have drafted a pretty solid team. So, I'm just saying, it is last, but it still can work. And I think as long as you play well, you can still win this league. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, now into the roasting. Okay, well... okay. look, man, I gotta eat today. Okay, no, I don't make money off this. Anyway, I'm just... Do I have ADHD? Anyways, let's get into this. Let me move out so you can see the entire team, and you can also see my teams here. You know, they're really cool and stuff. Not really. I stole most of these, like these top 3 I stole because I haven't played Gen 9 and like. Okay, I'm getting way off topic. Anyways, so the team overall is pretty nice. I need to move it up here. This is my modifier team. Anyways, I was about to join the. Okay, I'm just gonna. Let me just give her to that. Okay, so this team is pretty solid in a couple of different categories. Its speed tier ranges are pretty good. It wouldn't be that great just looking at the base stats, but because you do have Sandrush Houndstone, that does bump up your score quite a bit. And your setup as well is really, really good. You have Lucario, Charizard, Manaphy, Butterfree, even. Like, these are pretty good setup sweepers. So yeah, those are the categories you excel. Oh yeah, and also your team is well balanced in terms of typing. There isn't one type that can kind of run through your entire team, and in fact, there's probably not a good amount of type combinations probably can't get through your entire team as well, with the exception of like really good ones like Ground Ice, for example. But that's not what I count for type variants because you can't. There's no one who can draft all 11 mons that can beat every single type combination in the game. So. Yeah, so you get a 10 in that category. What this team was weaker in was a good amount, actually. So hazards, pivoting, wall breakers, and cleaners are either at or below average, in my opinion. So, hazard setting. You got Hippowdon for rocks. That's it. That's all your rockers. And then you have one Toxic Spiker here. So... yeah, overall, definitely not really good in terms of setting hazards. And as I said before, like you definitely want to have at least 2 rockers. It's going to be really hard if you want to bring rocks every game. Like, you have to bring Hippowdon every game. That's what that means. And now that can be very exploitable for your opponent. Who's like, okay, well now that I know he has to bring Hippowdon if he wants to bring rocks, and let's say they really know you want to bring rocks because like their team is very rocks weak. But like now they're like, okay, I know this Hippowdon's coming, and my team is really good at exploiting Hippowdon. You know, I have a, I don't know, what's a good example of something that beats Hippowdon? Corviknight. you know, Corviknight, let's say you're about to bring Whirlwind, so now I was like, I can bring Iron Defense, Body Press, Corviknight, and now this Hippowdon can't do jack shit to me. So, because you get what I mean, right? So, usually you want multiple hazard setters of, or at least rocks. You don't have to have multiple spikers. Spikes are just like kind of nice to have. But rocks are near mandatory in almost every game. So, you know, kind of important. Anyways, well, actually, yeah, okay, anyways. And then in terms of defogging, or like hazard removal, he only has defog, by the way. There are a couple of options to pick. There's Charizard X, which, you know, if you use that as defogger, pop off. But I don't think that's a good idea, considering this mon. Actually, it is pretty decently bulky. But like, Fire Dragon's not a great defensive typing, and yeah, it's like, you're really gonna use one of the best Dragon Dancers to defog. You know what I mean? You'll probably get more value out of your Charizard as a Dragon Dancer, even if you need a defogger. Like, that's kind of what I mean. And then Butterfree, very hard to defog with this mon too. And like, again, you want to Quiver Dance with it. You want to set up with this thing. You don't want to defog more often than not. So, yeah. So basically, your only real defogger is Emolga. And Emolga has a great typing. I'm not denying that. Its stats, on the other hand, are... Is my music playing? Oh, this is really quiet. Sorry. Okay. Anyways. The stats are really something, huh? Like 55, 60, 60. Fun fact, not very good. So, especially in this day and age. So yeah, removal, really bad as well. Pivoting. Yeah, let's talk about that. You have like two of them. You have two mons that can have pivot moves, and like one of them doesn't want to like do one again. Same deal. Do you want a Quiver Dance or not? Like, you probably want a Quiver Dance. And then, like, Emolga, sure, it can pivot. And, you know, I'll grant you this, with the typing, with static, it can probably be a better pivot than I am implying here. But, you know, still, like, come on. It's not great. Does it think it's your turn? No, it doesn't think it's your turn. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. I think... Actually, Baton. Does this thing have Baton Pass? Give me a second. Give me a second, I'm working on it. Okay, Baton Pass. Okay, it does have Baton Pass. So this thing is actually not bad at pivoting. You have Baton Pass. You can pass wishes that way. But still, that does not save you. And, you know, yeah. What else did I say? Cleaners. Yeah, cleaners. So, I guess, now that I'm saying little to no setup, I guess Charizard does count as a cleaner. But even at +1, actually not. It's crazy that I'm saying this nowadays. But 100, a base 100 at +1, it's not that fast anymore. There's a lot of things that outspeed it, which is crazy that I'm even saying it. But you know that. Okay, maybe not a lot of things, but like it's not the best cleaner, and like it's more so a setup mon than anything else, right? It's not. It doesn't as naturally fall into a cleaner position as I would kind of intend. Scarf Shaman might work as a cleaner. You have Extreme Speed Lucario, so like after Swords Dance, if their team is weak to Extreme, well, not weak to Extreme Speed, but like, you know, doesn't really take Extreme Speed as well, I guess that could work as a cleaner late game. But like, again, like this is all like a very situational type of things, and so yeah, overall that's kind of a weaker category for you. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically it with the Route 47 Lucarios. And now we have to go into second to last place, which used to be someone on this list, but they have since moved up since I discovered some things. And now it is the block-headed Blastoises that are second to last, unfortunately. So, why does this team suck? Or is second to last? Again, I don't think most of these teams actually suck. I think most of them are really good. So yeah, why does this team on the near bottom? So it does have some weak points, despite the sheer power this team exudes with, you know, Mega Zam, Darmanitan, Galar, Extreme, you know, Dragonite and all that stuff. But like, despite all of that, it has some key issues. This is the person I was talking about, for example, when I said he has a Goldango, but no real way to abuse the fact that it can block Defog. So, what do you know what rockers he has? He has Metagross. That's it. That's the whole list. And you want to know what Defoggers he has? He has Thundurus. And I guess Dragonite. But like you got me fucked up if you're gonna use Dragonite as a defogger. I mean, okay, to be fair, it's not that bad of a defogger, but like, you know, usually again this is more like opportunity cost of not running a DD Dragonite, right? Again, in some matchups though, you might want to use defog Dragonite, and I could see it more often than say Butterfree, for example. But you know, still, yeah. But you know, if you have a Goldango, you don't really want to be removing hazards anyways. You want them to stay on the field. So like, yeah, like the fact that you don't have spikes to abuse, or like, I'm hoping I'm not missing anything here. If I am missing something, please correct me. But the fact that you don't have spikes to abuse like this team with, like, especially since a lot of your team actually does want like spikes and rocks up. Like for example, Darmanitan Galar functions amazingly when the opposing side has rocks and spikes because it puts a lot of pressure on your team, on their team. Same with Mega Zam as well. Like everything here really wants hazards up, but you don't have a hazard setter. So like having a Goldango is kind of useless on your team in terms of blocking hazards, blocking hazard removing. So yeah, that's just really unfortunate in my opinion. Also, the bulk on this team. Sure, you have Dragonite. It's a pretty bulky mon, but like there's no pure bulk mons, which is fine if you're not doing if you're doing like a hyper offense team, which this team is kind of going for. But like at the same time, I could see this being trying to be a bulky offense team, but it's still lacking a good amount of bulk. Like Metagross is bulky, sure. Dragonite is decently bulky, sure. Goldango can be very bulky at times, but that's more so due to its typing than anything else. So like, yeah, I mean, it's not very bulky. And also, in terms of type variance, this team cannot deal with dark types. I guess unless Ditto transforms into something that resists dark. So, there you go. Now, if you want to beat this team, throw Dark Pulses at it. But seriously, yeah. Actually, yeah, what does this team do against Scarf Draco? Like, the best you can do is 50-50 it against your Ditto. But yeah. So that is an issue for it. Will say though, this team is amazing at cleaning. Absolutely great. Scarf Goldango functions pretty well as a cleaner. Obviously, a Scarf Darmanitan Galar. Yeah, of course that thing works well. Alakazam is very naturally fast and has strong special attack with good coverage. Even like Bullet Punch, Choice Band Bullet Punch Metagross can function. And then you have one of the best cleaners in the game, which is Scarf Ditto. You're like, oh, you're going to, you know, sweep me with your +2 Cloyster? Nah, it's mine now. And then you Rock Blaster and Team to Oblivion. So, yeah. Some of these, like, he has really good cleaners on this team. The speed tiers are also fantastic. Again, Mega Zam helps a lot. And then you have, like, a 100 plus Pokemon with 111 here with Thundurus. And you have, like, a good range in, like, the 80s and 95s. And then down here with, like... Yeah, I think overall your speed tiers are pretty good. You have a 60 here now. I guess like it's a little maybe you want like a really slow bomb, but like, you know, that's not. It's close to perfect, so I give you a 10. But yeah, overall, I think that those are the main problems with this team. Something it's not that weak in pivoting. Actually, no, it's not. It's fine for pivoting. I don't really have to say much about that. But yeah, again, I think. Okay, I will be honest. I don't want to say it like this, but like again, I think most teams drafted well. Unfortunately, I just think the Route 47 Lucario is just a little kind of below par compared to the rest of these teams. I really think like the block. I think this team, while it's second to last, can still really function very well in this league. But yeah, I can't overlook all the flaws with it as well. Basically, you just pissed me off that you didn't get spikes with Goldango. But anyways, next up, we have third to last or 14th place, and that is who is it? I have to drag this guy all the way down here. Goddamn. Silphco Solvalis is third to last. Now, again, team's not bad. Again, like, I think starting from second to last, I think every team is good. I don't want to. I hate being mean, but like, I just don't think this last place team is very good. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm trying not to be mean here, but that's just my honest opinion. Anyways, back to this. I think most of these teams are very good though, and even if you're in a bottom ranking position, like even then, like Route 740 low card, like I'll be honest, like I don't like this team, but I think it still can work. I just don't think it works as well as everyone else's team. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about it now. But anyways, Subcoastal Valleys. Yeah, so this team is pretty good, but it has a couple issues. Number one, it can't block Volt Switch. And you might be like, who cares about Volt Switch? You know, you got... this team really barely has good resist to it anyways, actually. You know, you have, like, Arcalodon, you know, like, you can block Volt Switches, or you can resist Volt Switches that barely does anything. Who cares? The problem with that is that Volt Switching is really abusable if you let it happen to your team. Like, you don't understand how badly, like, something like Tapu Koko pops off against this team, because it's like, oh, now I can just Volt Switch for free, so, like, who cares? I'm just gonna click it every single time. It doesn't matter what they do. Like, I can just go to it, and if I can read I can see what the opponent has done already, so I can react accordingly just because of that. So, like, U-Turn is already unblockable. You can't block it. But, like, giving your opponent another avenue to stop them from, like, you can't block them on, like, no go. Which is why type variants includes Volt Switch protection. If anything had Voltoswarp, I would have been fine. But, like, no, you didn't. So, too bad this isn't Gen 5 hidden ability Zapdos, right? So, yeah. Okay, so what does this team struggle with more so? Cleaners and pivoting. It's just like a pretty common thing in these bottom tiers. Well, not bottom tiers, but like in these lower placed teams. So cleaner wise, really don't got a lot going for you. Well, I guess. Oh, sorry. I guess Belly Drum and Azumarill does kind of count as a cleaner again, but like, yeah, no, it does. And then Masquerada is decently fast. Maybe Scarf Arcalodon can work. But yeah, overall, like anything else, like it's kind of hard for me to see like a team getting cleaned out late game by these things. Like Dusknoir doesn't really count actually because it doesn't have good setup. You know, if I had like Swords Dance, maybe I could see Swords Dance Shadow Sneak, but no. Sucker Punch is unreliable as priority. So like, you know, you can easily get whisked by something if you're fighting a Toxicroak, right? So, you know, I don't really count that very well as a good cleaner. And again, like, these require setup. Like, I'm already iffy about including setup mons as cleaners. And now, like, now these ones that are, like, unconditioned. Not conditioned. That are conditional, not... Okay, but yeah. Yeah. And then in terms of pivoting, Zapdos is great. Masquerade is great. That's it on this thing. That's all you have. So it's going to be a little bit harder for you to maneuver your mons in and out. Unless you're really like focusing on using Masquerade on Zapdos, which, to be fair, that is not hard to do with this team. So, you know, it can work. I do like the bulk that this team provides. Mew is just pretty bulky. Zapdos, Mega Sableye, Registeel especially. Arcalodon is even really bulky as well. So, like, I think overall this team has some good solid bulk. What else? Its setup, it's not too bad here. Mainly consolidated within the latter half, but like, well, not latter half, like the middle, the middle third. Like Belgium Azumarill, really good. Mew is just the setup demon. You know, you have a variety of different sets you can experiment with. The main one, of course, being Demon Mew with Cosmic Power and Story Power and all that shit. Mega Sableye can still also do some pretty nasty Calm Mind stuff too if you're not being careful against it. So yeah, that also works as well. And then, you know, stuff like even Registeel I counted as well. You know, like just you can become unkillable with like Iron Defense, Amnesia, Body Press, and Rest. Like you can basically not die with that set. Of course, it's very, very passive and it's easy. You can actually get stalled out pretty easily if you're not being careful. But you know, it does work. Swords Dance Toxicroak is also not a bad option. So yeah. anything else I want to say about this team? Speed tiers, they're okay. I don't know. There's like kind of a gap missing between like. Actually, wait. How's the same talk? Actually, no, speed tiers. Nah, the speed tiers are good. Yeah, it's good overall. In fact, I might be able to. Well, I'm not gonna give it a 10, but you know. Yeah, they're pretty solid. Yeah, okay. Let's move on to 4th to last, aka 13th, aka the Philippines Fiones. I think this team is kind of weird. The team name, sorry, not the team itself. Yeah, so I made a I forgot that like this person had double regenerator, so I had to increase their points in some categories, which is why they landed it in this category. Landed down here. Like, well, they were below these two originally. They were supposed to be 2nd to last, but now they're 4th to last. So yay, improvement. I don't know. This team is like, I'm kind of surprised this team ended up down here though. Like, again, like I feel like my own rankings, my own category can sometimes betray me. But yeah, this team being all the way down here is kind of surprising. But yeah, I guess it could happen. Again, this kind of just shows like people drafted good teams this season. But yeah, so what is the problem with this team? First off, ghost types. What do you do against ghost types, huh, buddy? My guy? What do you switch it to a spec shadow ball? Please let me know in the near future. Thank you, and good night. Or, even worse, a physical banded poltergeist from, I don't know, fucking Golurk. Actually, Golurk still threatens the daylights out of this team. So, like, if you know, just, you know, let me know. Like, seriously, yeah, you don't have to switch it to Ghost. What else is a problem? Cleaning. Again, there's always cleaning. Always has been. I guess, like, Scarf Heatran. And, like, maybe Belly Drum, Slackberry, Charizard. That's kind of like it. So, yeah, not very good cleaners. One of them is already conditional as well. So, you know, or, like, it needs setup. So, yeah. But, you know, outside of that, it just kind of got either middling or above average stats. Points for the other categories. So, you know, what it excels in is bulk. Like, for real. Yeah, I mean, you have double regenerator and a fucking Corviknight. Of course you get good points for bulk. Yeah. And, of course, Clodsire as well. Heatran's always great as a tank. So, yeah. Yeah, bulk is really good here. This is one of the few teams that got, like, a really high score without having Wish. In terms of bulk. Because, like, why the hell would it not? Let's see. Speed tiers are also really good here. You're just kind of missing, like, the upper echelon of speed. That's, like, a 110 is good, but, like, you know, just a little bit higher would have been better, you know? That's what I mean. Like, you know, don't really take that seriously. It's still fun. I guess a big problem is that you can't really run good Scarfers, which also is part of the bad cleaning part, though. So, like, yeah. And then after that, everything is kind of just middle of the roads. Nothing much to comment on. I think this team does look disgusting as hell. But then again, you also, if you just take the, like, looking at the top 6 is just like, holy crap, that's the team. That you don't need to bring anything else. Yeah. And I swear, and I promise you, I put aside my hatred of Fion when ranking your team. It's not because you have Fion that you're 4th to last. That's all I'm saying. That being said, you're disgusting for drafting this thing, and I hate you. Anyways, moving on. Next up we have, where are you? The Wuppertal Woopers is 12th. Yes, 12th. We're at 12th now. Okay. Lilyco Clamperls. I keep seeing you down here. When am I gonna call your name? Okay, anyways. Wuppertal Woopers, again, looks like a disgusting team. Why the hell is it all the way down here? I don't know, I'm just a weird guy, man. Again. Yeah, okay, anyways. Yeah, I did have to include Meloetta Pirouette here, just because obviously they're both one Pokemon, Meloetta and Meloetta Pirouette, but like, you know, I have to put this thing here so to like look at the stats and look at all that stuff. Anyways, so why is this at the bottom? It only really had one category struggled in, and then everything else it did pretty well. So yeah, again, like again, it's just like, well, now we're starting to get into teams where it's like maybe like one bad category that really dragged it down, and then like it got okay to good stats on everything else. Good point. Okay to good points on everything else. Like that's kind of where we're at right now. So yeah, the main thing here is hazards. Where are they? I can't see them. Okay, so Mega Wawa can set up rocks. do not bring Stealth Rock Mega Wawa. I swear to God, I will find you. Donphan doesn't get spikes or anything, unfortunately. It only gets rocks. So yeah, that's all. You have 2 rockers, but one of them really should not be sending rocks at all. So like, yeah, you're basically Donphan's your only rocker. And it's also bad because Donphan's your only spinner. Sure, you have Defog. You have Defog on a couple other mods. But like, aka just Breviary. Which, you know, it's not a bad defogger. But yeah, you know, overall hazard game is pretty weak. You only have rocks, so yeah. Outside of that, I guess some things you got like middling stats on were bulk and cleaning. Overall, the bulk is not too bad, and you do have Veil, so I didn't forget about that. But like, yeah, your team mostly focused on like physical defense, and then well, actually the bulk is not that bad here. But yeah, I mean it's not bad. Like it's okay. Maybe I didn't deserve a 6 though. Anyways. Sorry, these were fake ones are final. I don't want to make any more changes. But anyways, cleaners as well. You have a couple of good scarfers. You have like Gouging Fire, maybe Meloetta. I guess maybe Braviary. Grassy Glide got nerfed, so like, I mean, Rillaboom still can work as a cleaner, but like it's not as good anymore, obviously. And then Mawile can clean, but you know, obviously it's a wall breaker first and foremost. So yeah, overall. Yeah, cleaning's a little bit weak, but again, not that bad. And then team strong points are mainly concentrated within the setup, wall breaking, and type variants as well. So type variants wise, no one type can really break through this entire team, including freeze dry. I always check freeze dry. But yeah, they have a ground immune. They have a ground type to block Volt Switch, you know, all that good stuff. Yeah, 2 ground types actually, no, Wooper. Yeah, Wooper is a perk ground type. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that too. Oh wait, Wooper has spikes. Okay, you know what? If you use Wooper, you set spikes. Okay, maybe I gave you a little bit too little points. I forgot about Wooper. But like at the same time, are you really gonna be using Wooper? At the moment I say that, I know you're gonna say yes, and you're gonna actually do it. But like, anyways, I'm just gonna move on. But yeah, the setup and wall breaking up team go kind of crazy. Like, Mega Mawile, premier wall breaker, one of the best in the game. Also great setup on Gouging Fire. It's a new Pokemon, so we don't know that much about it, but like its Dragon Dance sets and Bandit sets have been popping off. Iron Hands. Don't catch these hands. These hands hurt like hell. If only it got Plasma Fizz. Which, why the hell did it not get Plasma Fizz? It's literally a robot with fists that like those fists out of anything should be able to generate plasma. It looks like it should learn Plasma Fizz more than the fucking Zeraora does, and I hate it. I hate that it doesn't get Plasma Fizz. Anyways, and don't give me the bullshit like balancing excuse. Do you think Game Freak cares about balance anymore with everything they've released in Generation 9? Hell no, they don't. Hell no, they do not. Generation 9 has brought some of the craziest power creep known to man. And like, oh my god. I could do a whole other rant on that. But anyways, she'll learn Plasma Fizz. Anyways. So yeah, setup, really good here. Yeah. Just gonna move on before I start screaming. Anyways, who is going to be number 11? It is going to be the Saffron City Scream Tails. So this seems like a pretty cool sand team, which I appreciate. I like sand teams. No Excadrill though, so like, you suck. Oh no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you do have a Sand Rusher though, so like, that's fine. And it's probably one of the best Sand Rushers besides Excadrill, so, you know, you're going to pass this time. Only this time. But yeah, what does this team struggle with? Actually, it struggles in 2 major categories instead of 1, unlike Whopper Whoopers, but they make up for it in a lot with very high points in all the other categories. So, main things here: hazards and cleaning. I'm gonna say hazards and cleaning a lot in this video in terms of like, detriments to people's teams, but just true. Like you like those things are something you can't really ignore, unfortunately. So yeah, hazards. What's wrong with the hazards? They have a lot of rockers. So that's fair. We do like that. I like having a lot of rockers. But that's it. That's the only hazard. No spikes, no T spikes, no webs. You know, nothing among that. At least I hope not. If I'm wrong, you know, tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me. And then in terms of defogging though, like you really only have the one, and that's Rotom Wash. I don't think anything else has it. You know, so like it's very weak in terms of hazard removing game as well. So yeah. But multiple rockers is nice. And cleaning. So, yes, you have Sandrush Dracovish, which is definitely very terrifying late game. Scarf Zapdos could potentially work too. But outside of that, you know, you don't really have a lot of good cleaners. I don't really consider Dragonite Tyranitar to be one because even at +1, it's still getting outsped by a lot of stuff. So it needs more investment. It needs more time to set up in order to become a cleaner. And at that point, it's just still a setup sweeper. So yeah. Yeah, Scarf Zapdos and Gyapdos, not Zapdos. Sorry, who cares? Yeah. Anyways, that plus Dracovish, your main cleaners. You know, that's fine. It's just not enough. But yeah, when I say it has high stats and everything else, like it's 8s through 10s in every other category, which is very high. Like for example, the type variance on this team is really good, despite being a sand team actually, which. Yeah, like usually sand teams have a lot of like multiple types and stuff. It makes it harder for you to build like type variants and build in type variants, but it works. It works. And yeah. I think as well, you know, the pivoting on this team is really, really good, which is good for like a mon where you have Sand Rush and you want to get that in safely. Like Teleport Blissey, you got Volt Switch Rotom Wash, Hydrapple, even. It doesn't get a pivot move, but it's basically a pivot with the regenerator plus good stats kind of combo. Like I consider Mungus to be a good pivot as well, and Tangrowth. But yeah, and then you have like U-turn on Gyapdos and stuff like that. You have really good wall breakers as well. Sandforce, Mega Steelix. I really want to see that pop off. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. And obviously Dracovish is amazing at breaking. So yeah. Although, like, I will say for Dracovish, like, it is a good Sand Rusher. I won't deny that. But at the same time, like, losing it on Strawjaw might be important. Like, Strawjaw is, like, part of the reason why it got banned last generation. So, like, you know, while Sand Rush is a nice thing for it, I don't think it's, like, that important on Dracovish. And I really would suggest you try to mind game people with Strawjaw in certain matchups. You know, that's just my opinion. But anyways, like just don't run Sand Rush every single season. Kind of throw in a Strawjaw on there every once in a while. But yes, they can tell if your Pokemon is Sand Rush or not by the end of a turn once it comes in. But like, you know, I think Strawjaw is still kind of part of the reason why Fish's Run was really good on this thing. So yeah. Anyways, really good stuff. Overall, like everything besides those 2 categories, the hazards and cleaning, everything else was really good. I can't complain much. Okay, next up, kind of surprised to see this person goes below, but again, I think everyone drafted good teams. We have the Scab Glaceons. So, what went wrong with this team? This one category this time, and it is pivoting. You have amazing like wall breakers and tanks and all that stuff, but you do not have a lot of good ways of getting them in safely. You do have Teleport Chansey. That's really good. That's a really good mon. Now, don't get me wrong, but it's like just Teleport. Like that's the only thing. I guess you turn on Articuno as well. Like that. Those are like the only 2 you really have to like pivot mons in. And so that's like one of the categories you struggle most in. Outside of that though, not bad. I will say though, you don't have any way to block Volt Switch, so you know, I have to take out points for that. But yeah, outside of that, team is a pretty strong team. yeah, you have kind of an issue with cleaning. It's not that much though. Like you're relying a lot more on Scarf than you are. Like when you want to clean, you have to rely on Scarfs. But like Scarf Lele and Scarf Cortana are like some of the best Scarfers in the game already. So like, who cares? So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But, you know, outside of that, you know, great wall breaking, great setup. Like Call My Tapu Lele actually kind of works sometimes. But you know, outside of that, it's a great wall breaker with specs, obviously. Volcarona is one of the best setup sweepers ever. Swords Dance Mega Gallade, very threatening. Iron Defense Body Press, Gargantual even works too. And Cartano. What do I say about that? That thing is amazing. If you don't have a steel flying type, that thing will shred your team. Like, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I think overall it's just like really good. In those categories, it's just, you know, you have one main problem, which is pivoting, and that's pretty much about it. But yeah, overall pretty solid team. Yeah, like I think we were already in like solid teams already. I think we were in the solid teams already. So like, yeah. By the way, I do know it's a psychic terrain team. I just wanted to mention that. Like having Mega Gallade there with like really, I mean it got buffed. I guess kind of like it has better. Oh no, sorry, it doesn't have sharpness anymore. What am I saying? But yeah, I mean, I guess you could stay in the Mega form to try to abuse like sharpness. But I don't know if that would work very well. Let's stay in the base form. Yeah. But yeah, I think this team is pretty good. I'm kind of interested. Actually, Kadabra could be pretty interesting too on the Psychic Terrain team. Unfortunately, it doesn't get Focus Blast, which is kind of unfortunate for it. But you know. Anyways, yeah, I think as we're moving upwards, like I'm just gonna stop talking about bad things and just going into talking about good things. But yeah, so next up we have the Lily Cove Clamp Rolls. We finally have reached you. Hello, how's it going? But yeah, actually this team is pretty similar to Saffron City Screamtails. You have problems with hazards and cleaners. Again. And then again, you did not struggle much with anything else. So, yeah, congratulations. I guess pivoting as well was a little bit of an issue for you, but you have 9s and 10s and like everything else. So, like, yeah, it's kind of like a slightly better upgrade to Saffron City Screamtails in a sense, but like it's not an actual direct upgrade because your team is obviously much more based around grassy terrain, which I am a huge fan of. I love grassy terrain. So you got a lot of points from me there. In my would I use category, I give you 9. Yeah. I love grassy terrain. But yeah, so let's talk more about the hazards and cleaning issue that I mentioned. So for hazards, again, like, yeah, it's just you don't have a lot of hazard setting. You have Bronzong instead of rocks. That is literally it. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but if I'm not wrong, you only have maybe Goodrigar was over. I don't know. Nope. Specs? Nope. Yeah, so it's just Bronzong to set rocks. And you have T-Spiker and Toxapex, which, to be fair, Toxapex is a pretty good T-Spiker, but like that's basically it. In terms of removal, oh wait, I forgot about Spikes Frostlass. What's wrong with me? Oh no. Ah, crap. Well, I can give you an extra point then, but that still wouldn't. Actually, that would put you at 8th. All right, hold on. You might have moved up the spot. I don't know why I forgot about. Oh. Actually, no. The real reason why. Oh no, I remember now. The real reason why you're at such a low. You only have Court Change. This is your only hazard remover, quote unquote, and it doesn't even remove hazards because your opponent can just set them up again. So actually, that's the real reason why you had a 4. I forgot. I'm sorry. But yeah, like you need defog, man. You desperately need defog or rapid spin or something. And if like that's the main reason. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Cleaners, nothing really extremely fast here. Gardecuno does not really count as a cleaner because you need a lot of setup in order to actually make it start sweeping. in my opinion. Like, just agility is not enough. But yeah, Scarf Tapu Bulu can work. Cinderace is kind of fast enough. Frostlass maybe, but like, yeah, maybe Raichu. But like, you know, these are a lot of maybes, and they're not amazing at cleaning. But yeah, this team really shined with wall breaking. You just well, actually not. Yeah, no, wall breaking is pretty good here. You got like Banded Bulu, Banded Surfetch, Banded Frostlass. I want to bring this up because yeah, it doesn't have a lot of attack, but it gets 2 really good stabs in Triple Axle and Poltergeist. And you have Ice Sharp priority. That can be a pretty cool set. Banded Cinderace as well, or just Cinderace in general is also a great wall breaker in its own right. And then Goodra, yeah, you probably want to be running like AV and stuff, but like you can run Specs and it can do well. AV as well, it might not be too bad of a wall breaker. It's just gonna be a little bit weaker. Yeah, type diversity here was also really good. No issues here. You almost had a problem with Volt Switch, but you drafted Raichu, so I'll accept it for now. I'll accept it. Yeah. Anyways, next up we have the Slovakian Slowbros. Definitely a departure from his previous teams. AKA Stall. Okay, he never really drafted Stall teams, I will say. But they just had stall bonds that could stall on them. That's, I guess, the best way to describe it. But yeah, so this team really didn't have too many struggles with anything. The one thing it's like maybe kind of iffy on is wall breaking. Sure, you have like potentially like banded Sneasler or like Specs / Band Dragapult, stuff like that. I barely consider Regieleki to be a wall breaker, frankly, because it has no real way of dealing with a ground type or literally anything that can deal with electric moves. Like once that and it's not that hard to find something that deals with that. So like I don't consider Regieleki to be a great wall breaker. It's a good cleaner once you get rid of those moves, but yeah, it's not a good wall breaker. Yeah, and it doesn't have Terra Blast, so you can't Terra Ice. And well, actually, he did choose Terra Ice for it, which I don't think he wanted to, but he missed the grace period deadline, so like that sucks for him. You can just use the transaction though. I mean, that's just saying. But yeah, this is more so like a pretty standard hyper offense team with electric terrain, and of course you can't have Tapu Koko because someone else drafted that, so he's just using Pincurchin, which is fine. It gets the job done, obviously. So yeah, that's kind of this team. So of course, as a hyper offense team, the setup on here is quite insane. He gets a big 10 out of 10 for setup. I guess I should have mentioned when other people got 10 out of 10s. But actually, that was the first 10 out of 10 that actually mattered. Like, if you get a 10 in type variants, I don't really care that much. 10 in speed tiers didn't really matter much either. Oh, Blockheaded Blastoise had 10 out of 10 for cleaner, sorry. So like, he had a 10 out of 10 for cleaner. So yeah. It was amazing cleaning. Like seriously. But yeah. He got a 9. The words. Slovakian Slowbros also got a 9 for cleaning too. Which is kind of what you expect for a hyper offense type of draft, which this definitely is. So yeah. Good on you for getting a 10. Speed tiers are also fantastic here. I will say again, you don't have wait, why did I give you a 9? Yes, it's Iron Treads. Uh-oh. wait, hold on. let me see here. I actually don't know why you have a 9. I mean, sorry, I actually don't know why you have a 9 here in type variants. Oh dear. Okay. Give me a second. What was it? What did I do wrong? Freeze Dry? Was it Freeze Dry? It was Freeze Dry. Yeah, that's why I gave him a 9. It's Freeze Dry. Okay, there we go. Took me a second there. So yeah, Freeze Dry, kind of an issue here, but you know, that's why I only gave it a 9 and not an 8. Is because like it's one move on a type. To be fair, it's a very scary type. It's a very scary move. But yeah, you have no Freeze Dry resist, so so yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So yeah, moving on. But yeah, this team. I can probably should talk about it a little bit more. You know, electric terrain team, with good 2 unburdened sweepers, and then like just a nice little Dragon Dancer and the Suicide lead for HO with Iron Treads. You have a potential like stopgap in terms of Cresselia for Calm Mind sweeping, or just using it for healing or Lunar Dance. Sorry, not Healing Wish. And then Regieleki can be used to clean late game, as well as maybe Shell Smash Crustle. Crustle is I will mention Crustle is actually a great lead as well, because you get to run Sturdy plus Custap Berry, and then you can run you can set up Stealth Rock and Spikes turn 1. So yeah, that could potentially be pretty good. And then you can also just Shell Smash if you want. So like it's a pretty versatile pick on HO actually. I kind of appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, next up. Oh, I don't have to move anything. LCA Igglybuffs is next. We're at 7th now. 7th, yes. Okay. So actually, this team struggled in 2 different categories. I will say struggled because you got the lowest score possible. We got the lowest score. He's tied for the lowest score in type variants, which is 7. Because you don't have a electric absorb. You don't have a Volt Switch absorber. So this team is Volt Switch bait. Second off, this team cannot deal with ghost types because it's a hard type to account for. Fair enough. There's not a lot of dark types to run around with, but at the same time, too bad. You still can't deal with ghost types. Not my problem. Not my problem that Dragon Ball runs all over your entire team. Yeah, so that's one of the main issues. Hazards as well are pretty. Oh, sorry, not hazards. Hazards are all right here, but the bulk is also pretty bad. But again, this is more of an HO team again, so it doesn't really matter that much that you had a low score on bulk. It's kind of the point of HO. You still have Slowking to do bulky teleport and stuff, so it's not too bad all around. And you have multiple screen setters, so that also helps. Yeah, electric terrain plus snow team is actually a pretty cool combination, and I really like to see what kind of happens out of that. I'm really interested in seeing. I don't know if I should reveal the tech or not. I'm not gonna say anything. Actually, I'm not gonna say anything. I'll let you guys figure it out. A hint. I'll give you a hint though. It has to deal with one of the Mons on his team. Anyways. I won't reveal it because I'm a nice guy. I wanna give you the surprise. Although I probably already gave it away. Anyways, we'll say though 10 on setup and 10 on cleaners. That is really what you want to see on an HO team. Your wall breaking ain't too bad either. So yeah, yeah. In terms of setup though, seriously, Iron Moth, Raging Bolt, Hawlucha, fucking DOD work pretty well. Calm Mind Coco can work too. Calm Mind Unburden, Drifloon. Sorry, I forgot the name. So yeah, can work very, very well. And then in terms of cleaners, again, Unburden Mons can work really well because they just get that speed boost when they enter the terrain with their seeds. Booster energy on Iron Moth when you get the speed boost can really be good. And then words. Yeah, Raging Bolt with Thunderclap can really clean late games as well. So yeah, really, really good. Okay, next up at 6th place we have the Verbing Venomous. Finally, a little bit of a departure from our hyper offense teams. I should have mentioned. Yeah, so I should mention these 2 teams, ILC, Igglybuffs, and Verbing Venomous, they both tied for the highest amount of 10s they got. So, fun fact there. So ILCA got it on speed tiers, setup, and cleaners, and then Verbing Venomous got it on type variants, hazards, and speed tiers as well. So yeah, why are the type variants and hazards so good? Well, type variants is self-explanatory. There's really no one type that kind of runs through the entire team. But for hazards, oh my lord, Gliscor, Stealth Rock Spikes, and Toxic Spikes, by the way. Toxic Spikes, and it can defog. And then you also have Rabombi with Sticky Web. It can also defog, which probably not as good of a defogger, but you know it still can. Tinglu gets Stealth Rock and spikes, and then Cloyster gets spikes, and Rapid Spin, and then Delmise gets Rapid Spin, and then Tentacruel gets Toxic Spikes, and Rapid Spin, and then Hatchrim has Magic Bounce. So, and then and to top it all off, and then Cradily gets fucking Soaks. So, yeah, there is a reason why. Oh, I got paused. Oh, excuse me. I had to fix this. I got booted out of my playlist for some goddamn reason. Okay, let me just put this back on. Alright. So, where was I? Yeah, that's a lot of goddamn hazards. And a lot of removal. So, you know, I have to give it a 10. Yeah, that's why. Why is it so quiet? Okay, no, there it is. Okay. So yeah, that's the main thing. The main thing that this team struggles with is wall breaking. Sure, you got a Mega Ampharos. Maybe like a Banded Baxcalibur. That's basically kind of it. There's not much more to say about it, unfortunately. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The cleaning is really good though. I have to include Cloyster in this. The bulk is really, really nice on this team as well. And the pivoting. If you didn't know, Alomomola and Tentacruel both got flip turned this generation. So this team pivots really, really well. And yeah, that's just great. But the wall breaking, it's hard for this team to like immediately break walls. It needs to set up in order to do so. To be fair, Gliscor is really hard to stop on, like in terms of being like a tank. Trying to stop Gliscor is really hard because you know it's immune to status, and it can set up Swords Dance pretty easily, and it has a lot of longevity. So yeah. Anyways, next up we have our resident monotype team. The Swallowable Swallows. I hate that name. Anyways. If you notice just from looking at the team, yeah, it's a mono flying team. We love to see it. And now you might be surprised that a monotype team is all the way on the top. And yeah, sure, it didn't do well in type variants, and its bulk is kind of bad, but everything else it did pretty well in. So yeah, this is a really well drafted monotype team. I honestly think like it kind of deserved this place. It's really good. I also really like monotype team, so I gave it a 10. I would totally love you. This is the in terms of what I use. There's only 2 people I gave a 10 to. This is one of them. So yeah. And by 10 I mean, oh yeah, by the way, I probably should talk more about the what I use category. It's like if I want to use your team with no changes, that's when I give you a 10. I would give, although actually I probably should have given him a 9, but like I probably should have given him a 9, but like yeah, maybe I should have, because like I would have wanted to Torn Theory, and that's the only change though, like realistically, and like realistically speaking, it's hard to get that in a draft league anyways, but no one drafted Tornadus Theory, so like, you know. anyways, let's get into the team. So yeah, obviously type variants, there's no rock resistance. Okay, yeah, sure, Magneton's there, but there's also no ice resistance. Okay, fine, Magneton's also there. There's no freeze dry resistance. Okay, fine, Magneton's. Okay, but the problem with what I just said, if you have like every single member of your team, if every single like type that resists is Magneton, yeah, no. And by the way, it kind of violates the mono flying. It violates the monotype flying, and I know he chose Terra flying as its option, and I'm pretty sure that means he's not going to Terra. That means he's going to Terra the Magneton immediately and not keep the Electric Steel typing. So if that's the case, yeah, then he really realistically has no rock resist, no ice resist, no freeze dry resist, blah blah blah. He only has, yeah. So other than that though, it's fine. I think it was pretty well drafted. I mean, you know, you have to. Most monotype teams have the weaknesses. Like, they have their inherent weaknesses. Like, there's not much you can do about it. But yeah. Anyways, this team also kind of struggled in bulk. I did mention that. Yes, they have a Skarmory. I get that. They have a Mantine too. I get that. But like everything else is like not that bulky. I guess Landorus can be decently bulky, but that's about it. Everything else is just like more so just like they might have a little bit of bulk, but like enough for them to tank 1 or 2 hits while they're fighting. But like this team is going down swinging. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bulk wise, a little struggle there. But other than that, this team does really well. This team got a 10 in pivoting because for some reason flying types, like every single flying type gets the U-turn. I don't know why. I didn't make the rules, but like almost all of them do. So yeah, this team is really good at pivoting. And yeah, speed tiers and cleaning was really nice as well. The cleaners, there's a variety of different ones. You know, you have Mega Aerodactyl's already insanely fast. Booster energy. Actually, I don't know if this thing can get booster energy on speed. Oh, I totally can. Yeah, so Iron Jugular's booster energy off the speed. That can really, really nice for cleaning. There's a lot of good viable Scarfers here, including Landorus and Thundurus. Swellow even can work well as a cleaner. It's fast enough. You know? But it also fits into the wall breaking as well, which the team is okay at. Yeah, so it's a pretty nice, fun mono-type team. I really like it. Maybe I shouldn't give you a 10 though. Anyways, we have 4 teams left, and at 4th place, who is it? Which one of you? It's the Driftfield Delibirds. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Driftfield Delibirds. So, okay, anyways. And you'll be. This team got a 9 in what I use. You know, I'll tell you why I gave you a 9 after once I get to the. Actually, no, I'll tell you now. It's because this isn't a Latios. This man has 1 extra. Okay, I agree. Okay, I will say I understand this person's favorite Pokemon is Latios. I get that. Latios is just better. I'm sorry, the Mega version of Latios is just better. I don't. If this was Mega Latios, I would have given this team an instant 10 out of 10. Now that it doesn't, I don't care. You know, you get a 9. Sorry, man. That's just how it is. But yeah, this team also has 3 10s, so that's good for you. But yeah, let's talk about the struggles, which there really aren't any. It's the hazards are mid and the cleaners are mid. But like by mid, I actually mean like middle of the road. I don't mean bad. Which by the way, like mid should always mean like mid, middle of the road. Like that's what that means. But yeah, he has decent setters. Like you have Infernape, Ferrothorn, Sandy Shocks, they're both pretty good setters. It's just the main problem is that you only like your main remover is going to be Talonflame. I'm sure Latios can defog too, but like you're probably not going to be using it as a defogger for most games. So yeah, I think Talonflame is mainly your main defogger, and you know there's definitely going to be a team or two where it'll definitely struggle being on the field at all. So you know, that's kind of why I had to give you a lower score. For hazard, it's still at 6. It's not that bad. But, yeah. Cleaners wise, too, it's actually not that bad. But like, there's nothing like insane here. Like Iron Boulder booster energy, really good. Sandy Shocks booster energy, really good. Scarf and Fernape, really good. Outside of that, though, you know, not much else. But like, that's fine. That's why you get a 6. That's why. But it's not insane, which is why you don't get a 10. Yeah. Math is mathing, as it turns out. But yeah. It gets this team got a 10. It's the only team that got a 10 in wall breaking actually, because this team has really strong mons off the rip. You know, Mega Latios, Iron Boulder with like a band or life orb can still work without Swords Dance. Infernape can run either side of the spectrum to wall break. Sandy Shocks is really good. Primarina is a really great wall breaker, and even Mabosstiff, like. Or Mabosstiff, I don't know how to pronounce that name. But like that thing is really good with Stakeout, and it has actually has good attack too, right? And Stakeout is really cool. Yeah. This is the only team that got 10 in Wallbreaker. Look at it and weep. Speed tier is also really good here. Got the Iron Boulder, you got the Talonflame at the top, you got Infernape and Latios in the middle, Sandy Shocks as well. We have decent slower mons. And it overall ranges really well. So yeah, you got a 10 there. And type variants, again, it's not very hard to get a 10 type variants. Your team resists pretty much everything. your team has a resist for pretty much everything. Maybe not a combination of things, but again, we don't look at type combinations, because if that's the case, no one will get a 10. So yeah. If you got a 10, if you had Mega Latios, you could have potentially been first. That's how close it is, by the way. The top 4, there's only one person that sits at first. The person that's sitting at first is the only person at their point value, but the next 3, they're all technically tied for second. So if you had a Mega Latios, well, I could have given you first place. I don't know, man. Just saying. Anyways, third place is the Moto Stoke Milkeries. This team actually surprised me. I was not expecting it to get this far, but like, it's a really good team. I very much so underrated it on first glance. So the main thing this team struggles with, wall breaking. Not amazing. It's not bad. Again, it's not bad. It's not amazing. Specs Zoroark, pretty hard to switch into. Life Orb Nicholas, pretty hard to switch into. I guess Lopunny can count as a wall breaker as well. And yeah. Outside of that, though, not as much wall breaking as you would like. And those are some of the things I mentioned were kind of niche wall breakers as well. Like Lopunny really slots more into cleaning than anything else. But yeah. Aside from that, though, it gets really high points in every other category, pretty much. I mean, it gets a 7 in cleaners. I did include Trick Room Reuniclus. It's a cleaner, though, so I'm gonna inflate it a little bit. But yeah, Lopunny is a really good cleaner. Yeah. I guess Scarf Zoroark. Again, Trick Room Reuniclus can be pretty good. So yeah, I think it's okay. I guess since Salamence has Moxie, I did count Scarf Salamence, and also Dragonette Salamence can kind of work as a cleaner as well. So yeah. And yeah, this team got a 10 in type variants and speed tiers, so that's pretty cool for them. Yeah, I mean, those are the 2 easiest ones to get a 10 in, though. So like, a lot of people got those. It's not that special. But yeah, really high points in everything else. So like, the hazards are really good, pivoting's really good, the bulk and setup are decently good. Like, you know, everything's just solid. And that's kind of what I'm expecting for a top 3 team, you know. And then we reach. Actually, no, I'm gonna talk about this team. Yeah, no, it's just really well drafted. I really like this team. Yeah, these last 3 teams are ranging from 9 to 10. There's only one 10. There's only one other 10 I gave, as I said. You'll have to figure out which one. It's not this one, unfortunately. I just don't like Zoroark Kazooie. That's basically it. I would get rid of that for something else. But like, other than that, I think this is a really solid team. Like, even the Rotom Frost, I kind of enjoy, because they did choose the Terra. They make it a Terra Captain, which I really enjoy, which I really liked. And I really like Reuniclus. I'm pulling out a lot of good tools this gen with Scald and not Scald. They got Roost, they got Flip Turn, and yeah, so Gligar also got buffed as well, because, you know, it was also related to Gliscor. So yeah, I think this team's really good. And now we have 2. So who got first place, ladies and gentlemen? It is down to the Poisonous Pranksters versus the Jubilife Joltex, and I will have to say the number 1, or I guess the number 2, is the Poisonous Pranksters. That's right. You now know who number 1 is, but we're going to talk about number 2 anyways. So, Poisonous Pranksters, aka past was Dubious Digitals. Very, very solid team. Number 2 is no laughing matter. This is a really, really solid team here. We got Double Wishing. You got like, yeah, we got Double Wishing. You got fucking Iron Valiant and Mega Scizor and Garchomp. Like, that's really, really solid. That is a disgusting Fairy Steel Dragon Core offensively. Yeah, really, really good. There's no again, since it's a top 2 team, there's no real place where it struggled. Like, if I have to name something, it would be like wall breaking. But like, again, it's still good. You know what I mean? It's just not amazing on this team. Like, you know, you have like Life Orb Clefable, Garchomp, Life Orb Garchomp, I guess, Iron Valiant in general, Scizor maybe. So like, it's okay, right? Like, there's no good choice banners here, but like, still, it's still a really good team. honestly, Valiant probably could be a good choice banner too. I don't know. Yeah, I've only seen you use boost energy, but now you have the choice to use like a bunch of different items. So maybe it'll work out. Oh yeah, Hoopa is also really good over. Yeah, but like everything else is really good. I will say in terms of type variants, you are technically completely weak to flying. Like, there are no flying resists on this team, but you chose your Hoopa to Terra into electric, so I technically couldn't take off 2 points, so I only took off 1 point. But yeah, because you know your Hoopa's not always going to be Terra. Your Hoopa's not always going to be electric type. So yeah, other than that, yeah. So like your team is weak to flying. There's no resist normally. Outside of that though, really solid team. I can even like this is a team where I could see every single Pokemon. Oh wait, I should. Well, okay, starting from like the top like 5, I could say like I could see a point for every single member being used, like realistically speaking, and like this is also one of them, even with a cutie fly. Like, hey, that's a really good setter. In Uber Zoo, you gotta use it. But yeah, that's really fun. Anyways, yeah, setup here is really insane. Well, it's not insane. It's pretty good. It's really good. Yeah, no, it's really good. Actually. Oh no, yeah, sorry, I was misreading that. I was like, did I not give you 9? Yeah, I give you 9. The bulk also is really good. You got double wishes, and one of those wishes are really fat. That's really nice. And then your team in general is just very bulky. I guess like Iron Valiant's like a little bit bad, but yeah, it's okay. And then hazards are good. Tank Chomp is actually better than ever now without it. Like not better than ever now it has spikes. So yeah. So we have reached the pinnacle, the number 1, the Jubilife Joltix. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the tippy top of UPDL Season 6 PRs. So, oh, sorry. This team also got a 10 in what I used. I forgot. This is the other team that got a 10. Yeah, I just really like this team. This team is crazy cool. This team almost got me. Almost got a 10. Actually, honestly, I could probably give this team a 10 too. I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, I think this team's pretty good too. Anyways, so yeah, this team basically has no struggles. Only real struggle, hazards. You have a couple of rockers, 1 spiker. The thing is, like, the rockers don't really want to. Well, actually, no, it's Bombardier. Bombardier doesn't mind setting rocks. I don't think it would. And then, you have Overpond with spikes, so it's not too bad. Defogging, you have 2 defoggers. Like, it's just okay. Like, but it's not bad. Like, again, this is the top team. Or at least according to my rankings. So yeah, this team also has insane setup. It has a 10 in that category. I mean, just look at the goddamn team. Like, literally every single mon on this team can set up. I'm not even joking. Besides, like, the Electrode, I guess. I mean, it technically has agility, but yeah, it doesn't really set up. But yeah, everything else on this team can potentially set up in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, this gets okay. Well, maybe not Bombardier either. But like, yeah, like insane setup. As solid bulk, it has really good type variants. Like it's just a really good team. Very excited to see what this team can do. I'm excited for all the teams. Don't get me wrong though. Yeah. I don't really know what to say. This team is really good. Well, I guess that's about it. Let me move over. Let me put this down here so that now you guys can see. Oh, I forgot. Why did I pause the music? Okay. So yeah, this is the full rankings. This is the ranks, by the way, just in order. Of course, this sheet will be uploaded to the doc at some point. But yeah, these are your numbers for right now, and yeah. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Wow, I finished this in less than an hour and a half. That's crazy. That's so crazy. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about my rankings or comments, please feel free to let me know. I probably did get a lot of things wrong. I did this kind of over the course of a day, so it probably wasn't enough time. And I probably should have looked over it again. But, yeah, if I got something wrong, let me know. It might be enough to move you up in rank, but I'm not going to change the rankings. So, it'll change in spirit if I did get something wrong. You can, like, if you, like, for example, like, if you don't think your hazards are 4 and it's actually a 5, then that will put you above, so long as it doesn't get you, like, 8th place. You'll be 8th place in spirit. I'm not going to change this anymore, though. So, yeah, but thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys later. Hopefully with replay analysis. Bye-bye.